Hey guys, today we're going to be starting a new series on this channel, and it's going to be looking at creating a new game. It's going to be a very simple game, but we are going to start from the very basics and develop it together, and hopefully you guys can have some input as well. One of the first things we're going to need to do is start up and create an environment in Unity. Now it's going to be a really simple environment. In fact, we're going to make it right now. So we're going to jump in, create an object, another object, and then a cube. And we're simply just going to scale it down. It doesn't have to be too precise for now because we're just learning. We're just playing around. So we've got our cube, and if you click on it there, you can rename it, and we'll name that one floor. If I could type. And so we got that there. We won't need that main camera for now. So we've got our floor in there, and if we click on it, we can select it and we can scale it and we can do whatever we want with it. And it's got a collider on it already, so we don't need to worry about that. Now what we're also going to do is create another object, which is going to be another cube, and we're going to make this one our player. So we're going to have it there, and we're going to shrink it, and we're just going to put it kind of near the floor. In fact, we'll put it a little bit higher so I can show you a little bit about Rigidbody. So we've got it there, and then we need to, if we have it there, it's not going to do anything, it's just going to float. If we press play, it's not going to do anything. If we untick play, we can go back into the editor, and we'll hit component, make sure our cube's selected, and we're going to go physics, Rigidbody. And what that's going to do is give it some physics, and it'll actually make it affected by gravity straight away, just off the get-go. So if we press play now, it falls straight down, hits the floor, collides with it, and it's constantly like colliding with it over and over again, but it's stuck there. So what we're going to do is we've got it there, and it moves, and it falls down, but it doesn't move or anything, it just falls over. So we want to make it so we can move. The way we're going to do that is over here on the project panel. Instead of the hierarchy, we're going to go project, create a folder, and we're just going to call that one scripts. And what that's going to do is keep everything tidy, and if we right click on there, create JavaScript, and make one inside it, and we'll call this one cube movement. And if we double click on that, we can open it up. Now on this side you can see it's actually got a copy of exactly what's in the script, but we can't edit it over here. So once we've opened it up in this other panel, we can edit it. Now don't worry about any of these tools really. They're useful, but we're going to jump straight in with just type in some stuff. So we start off with the function update, which is basically it calls anything within these squiggly brackets here every frame, and that's what the update means. Now, so we want to give us some space, and we want to put something in there that's going to make it so we can move the character. Now the way we're going to do that is by pressing a button. So the easiest way to learn about these scripting techniques is to just use the scripting reference that's online, that's Unity's already provided, and there's some very useful information on the forums that people have had. When you have a problem, you can Google it, and it will often come up to the forums, and there's a useful community for this. So we'll just type in Untitled.Chapter and search that. And straight away, we're going to jump to the one which I've already used before, but the top one there is Input.GetButton. Now what that means is every time that the button is pressed, is held down, it's going to use that for every frame because it's inside the update function. So we've got some useful information here that Unity has provided, and it's got some useful links, and we can just search things up here if we want to as well. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take the bit that we want, which is the button. So we'll copy that. We'll jump straight back into Unity and to the script reference, and we'll throw it in there. And so we've got our if statement, which we don't really want this stuff, but I'll talk through this now. So instead of calling every frame, we want it whenever the button's pressed. So if the button is pressed, so if and then something, so the thing that we want it to be, we need to be inside brackets, normal brackets, and we want input get button, so every time that the button is pressed, which is the bit in the next bit of brackets. So That needs to be in inverted commas as well, in speech marks. So we're going to put W because we want that to be forwards. Now we don't need the rest of this stuff because that's for shooting. But we will need to put another squiggly bracket because we need to put something inside when if is pressed. So we'll throw another one there, and that's ready. But because we've now added a new button there, Unity needs to know what W is, because it doesn't know, other than that it is a letter, what it means. So we'll save that and we'll jump into... actually, no, we'll wait. So we've got that there, and we want to be able to move when that happens. Now, the function that we're going to use for that is called transform.Translate. Now, there's a lot of different ways of doing this, and you could use the preset things that come with Unity, which will probably be suggested in other tutorials. But that can get a bit problematic when you're trying to do specific things, and it's a lot easier to know how your objects move from the inside. So that's why I'm going about it this way. So we'll jump back into, we'll just Google this. We'll just do Unity transform. If I could spell. And in fact, we've got translate down here, so we'll open that one up. And we've got transform, translate, Vector3.forward, and all that stuff. Now we want it to move forward, so we'll use this one. So we'll copy that one in. It does have some more versions, different ways to use these. Unity is very good in helping people to be able to use their program. So if we jump in here and we go transform, translate, Vector3. So we want it to transform. We want to translate to Vector3, which is the axes, X, Y, and Z, and we want it to go forwards because it's a preset that Unity's got, and it will multiply that by time.deltaTime, which is basically 1 unit every second. That's the way that Unity reads 1 unit every second. Now that's useful, but we might want it to be a bit faster than that. Now, depending on how big our area is, we will probably want it to be faster than that. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to add a function, a variable. So the way we're going to do that is go var or var, short for variable, and then we want to create our own variable. So we can type whatever we want here, but I'm going to keep it nice and simple, and we'll go moveSpeed. Now I've used a capital S to because in case if we have more than one variable that's related to moving or move speed, we can have different versions, and also it's easier to remember. Now it's nice practice to get into that kind of thing when you start off. And what we're going to do is go colon float, which will I'll explain that in a minute. It'll make it easier to edit in the future, and that will equal, for now, will equal to 2. And then we need a semicolon just to show that it's the end of the line. Now you don't need that on things like functions and if statements because we've got the open brackets because there's something inside it. But every other line will need to have a semicolon, and that makes it a lot tidier, and it will prompt you if you don't do that. So we want to multiply what we've got here by our variable. So we need to multiply that by move speed. We could just multiply it by 2 if we wanted to, but it's easier to do it this way so you can edit the speed in the future. So we've got that there, and we'll save that, and we'll just minimize our script for now. So we've got our script, and we want to put it onto our cube, and we'll do that. In fact, we'll rename our cube to player. So we'll just click there, and we'll go player. Okay, so we'll put our cube movement script onto our player, and we'll hit play. But because we didn't set up what W was, it will come up down here with an error that says, and we can't move the character by pressing W. But if we come here and it says input button W is not set up, and it's got that every time that was called, which is every frame, because it was looking for in the script. If we open that up again, it's using the update, and it goes if W, but it doesn't know what W is, so it doesn't know whether to call it now or not. So it comes up with the error every frame, and it actually tells us what to do. It says we can add it to change the input settings. We can go onto here to do it. So we'll go edit project settings, input, So we'll clear the console for now, because those are simple errors. And we'll go File, we'll go Edit, Project Settings, Input, and we'll change our axes. And we'll, if you look, there's a lot of preset ones here already, but what we'll do is we will change that to 18, and we'll change our new one, which will duplicate the one that was above it, to W, and then the positive button we want to be W as well. And what that means is now we're going to register W as a new key. So if we now hit play and we use W, we will move, our character will move forwards. That was me just tapping it, but if we press play and hold it, it'll move forwards at a nice rate. Now, that's all well and good, but we want it to move in all directions, and we want to be able to rotate it as well. So we're going to cover that in the next episode. But for now, thank you for watching, guys, and if you've got any comments or any questions, just throw them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next episode.